Solo on the beat. Solo. Solo on the beat. Solo. Solo on the beat.
Hey everyone, how's everyone doing? I'm Jocelyn from MLH, and today I will be hosting the second part for our MongoDB technical stream that we had 1 hour ago. So it is not a long time since I last have seen you. And right now it is a little bit late for me. It's like 10 p.m. So I will be ending this stream approximately at midnight, at least for people who are located in Central Standard Time. But I think it will be better for some of you who are literally in the other end of the world, as the timing might be better for you, perhaps in the morning. So on last session, we were seeing how to set up our application on Streamlit, and right now we will be basically going directly through it. Hi, um, hello everyone. I really like hosting these sessions as you get to meet a lot of interesting people, and then we always like to you know do different type of technical streams, and most of the times we always like to make like a project by the end of the technical stream, because our purpose here is always to inspire the hacker community and make amazing projects that you can have in your portfolio or share with your family and friends, and also to have the opportunity to participate in these global hack weeks, which are basically the set of technical streams, and you can also earn swag during the weekend by checking in into our workshops. So please don't forget to check in. I will send you the link again on the chat, and every time you check in into our workshop, you get points, and every time a new day comes, you will receive an email with the points that you have. So I actually remember attending to different global hack weeks when I was not a coach, and I was always like really into it and very competitive, so I could earn like MLH swag because I love to collect the stickers, and I actually like to put them on my laptop. And as they have like these special shape that you can build like a grid, I always see them like as a collectible item, and it is very nice. And every time you go like to a hackathon, whether it's in person or like for example the global hack weeks, you can earn like these collectible stickers, and you will be able to stack them, as I like to do. But yeah, um to make a little bit of recap about what we saw last session, that was like 1 hour ago, literally 1 hour ago. We were setting up our Mongo cluster, which was on the MongoDB platform. We created our free accounts. Then we connected to our running instance on the cloud. Then I created a GitHub repo that I will be sharing with you shortly on the chat, so you can see like the example that I was coding up on Visual Studio in case you want to, see the example from there. It is updated right now with the most recent things that we were doing. So yeah, and after we did that, we also started creating like the front end for our Streamlit application, which was completely coded in Python. And after that, we created the embeddings function, and then I ended the stream just like 5 minutes before it ended, so you had like a little bit of time in case you wanted to eat something or also attend the mini event that was hosted a while ago on the Discord server. And right now we're going to continue with that project, and at the end of the stream, everyone should have their Streamlit page running on the web. So yep, let's start. If there is nothing more to comment over here, This is basically the GitHub repo that I share with you on the chat. Right now, we have our pages for the Streamlit. We also have the homepage, and we have the Mongo script that we created earlier. So let me go back quickly into what we were doing in case you are new and you were not able to attend the last stream that we had. So we import all of our necessary dependencies. We use PyMongo, which is the client that we use to connect to our MongoDB instance. Then we basically state like all of the credentials that we are going to be needing to connect to our MongoDB instance. Then we create our Mongo client. We state our database and our collection. Then we basically start to include the embedding section over here. I'm going to write a comment. There's now create embeddings by stating model and tokenizer, which are from bird in Hugging Face. Yeah, so we basically created our tokenizer, and just as a reminder of what we saw last session, tokenizer is just basically dividing like a sentence into different like individual elements. For example, like each word is an individual element, so each word is like a specific token. Then we also stated like the model that we have, and then we created our embeddings function that basically outputs the embeddings for our input text. This is just the front end of our Streamlit application. Write a title, divider, text, and then we have our forms over here. Some context over here. We are basically building an AI application where you fill out a form stating like your technology preferences, and then you get matched with someone who also filled out the form, who has like similar how do I say, like similar tastes like yours. Then you click the button on submit, and you generate the document in order to upload to Mongo. We concatenate all of the information in one single value, and then we generate our embeddings and pass on the concatenated responses, which are basically just the responses that we get from the forms. So let me run this so we can see what's going on. So to run, let's remember it's a Streamlit, then run, and then we are writing the name of our script where we want to run. So in my case, the script is named home, so it's home.py, and this will open up me on a web browser the page that I have been doing. Also, for the ones who were in the last session, I was having an error regarding that I was not specifying like the size list. Actually, that was weird for me because in my code I never used like the list element to do something, so that's why I was kind of shocked. But then I saw the complete error message on the console, and I saw that the error was actually being generated over here. On this section, I was getting the error because I wrote return tensor instead of return tensor, so I was missing an S over here. But on the repo, I already uploaded the correct version, and you should be able to run it just as I'm doing it right now. So now my application is running, and I'm getting matching app for techies. I have my formulary over there, and then I can complete this information in order to get like a response. So let's go back and let's see if we can actually see what my embeddings element has. So I'm going to write this response st.write embeddings. Yep. And now let's go back and let's refresh this. And I'll just fill out the form. I have filled it many times, so now I'm running out of ideas. So my name, I'm going to put B. Programming languages, Let's play C sharp and some Python. Favorite framework? I don't really do front end, but sometimes I use. And an advantage about like using a vector database as we created it earlier on MongoDB is that it doesn't matter really how I write my responses over here, as long as it has like a semantic meaning in relation to the other responses, it will output something quite coherent to what we're trying to do. Tech conference, so I'll type GitHub Universe. Um, I will type none. Take celebrity, none. Favorite code editor, let's write Vim. This is not, these are not my actual preferences. I'm just trying to put like random information. But the GitHub Universe, that is actually true. That is one of my favorite tech conferences. It's really nice. I've never been to one live, but yeah, I hope I will be able to do that soon. So yeah. Um in my script I wrote that I want to see like the embedding for each element. So right now I'm seeing like random numbers, and these numbers are not like random numbers as I'm saying. They're basically the numerical representation for each word that I have in here. For example, B is equivalent to this zero over here, and so on for each of them. So I have like many embeddings in here. So now you can actually relate a little bit on the concepts that we were mentioning earlier, that an embedding is just basically the numerical representation of something. It can be like a document, it can be, for example, a text, as I am writing here. This is a text, and I'm converting that text into a numerical representation, which will later on become a vector using our embedding model. And for our embedding model, if we go back, we are using BERT. So we are using this model. We are using BERT based on cased. So yep, that is acting as our embedding model. And now we can see that it successfully generated the embeddings for each of our elements. And now we are ready to upload this information into MongoDB. So in MongoDB, if we go back to our cluster, so just a little bit of context for the ones that were not in the last stream, we basically set up an account in MongoDB, oh, I'm sorry, we selected our free cluster that we had, and then from there we connected, and from here, the only important thing that you want to have is this URI, which basically contains like all of your important information, and also the password. You have to replace it in here. If you see my GitHub repo, you will already see like a preset in here. You just have to fill out this information from this file in the secrets. You can also use mine. I mean, I wouldn't have a problem. I created this account just for this stream, so I wouldn't mind if you use the same database. Just don't erase it right now, at least. Yeah, so we connected there, and then we went over to browse collections, and we created a database called Techies Responses, and we created a collection called Responses. And if we can see right now, the database should be empty. Yep, we don't have anything because we haven't uploaded anything yet to MongoDB. So let's go back to our code. And now let's go back. We were over here. Great, here. So now that we were able to visualize like our embeddings, it is not necessary for us to, like actually show the embeddings in the page, because that is not relevant. I was just trying to show you this in case you were like curious about what the embeddings actually look like for like a real case scenario. So you already saw them. I will comment this in case you want to visualize it later. So once we have our embeddings and once we have our responses, what we're missing is to actually upload this information to Mongo. So to do that, we have to create our document format again. And as MongoDB is an object database which basically receives documents, it is basically in the format of like a JSON structure, which has like a key and a value. So for our document, we will have two elements. We will have the responses, which will be basically the text responses. So for this, it would just be like our responses. And then we will have the embeddings array, which will be basically called embeddings. And then in here, we will basically paste, like the embeddings, and we will convert these to a list. No, it is, perhaps it is list. Yep. To list, this doesn't exist. To list. Perhaps with an L. Yep. If not, I will change it in case it is wrong. So we created our document, and now we can actually insert this document into our database. And to do that, we're going to call our collection. So if you remember, we already created this collection over here, collection client responses. So we're going to make a reference to that and collection, and we want to insert it, and we want to insert one. And what we're going to insert is this document over here because it is the one that we created and it is already in the format of key and a value. So we will put in here document. And that's it. With that, then we can actually, tell the user that the information has been added successfully. So in that case, I'll put added. Well, your information was submitted correctly. There we go. Now let's go ahead and try this out. Let me just push into the repo, insert document into Mongo with text and embedding. Nice. So you should already be seeing the latest changes on the GitHub repo in case you want to have this updated. So let's go to our page and let's submit this again, and it will refresh if I'm not wrong. Collection object is not callable. You meant to call the insert one method on a because no such method exists. So let's go ahead and check what that means. So we use the collection, which is basically called collection. We use insert one, that should be correct. Collection object is not callable. Method on a database. Perhaps because it doesn't exist. So we have the collection here, which is called collection. Then we have the client. If you meant to call insert one method on a database object is failing because no such method exists. That is weird. I mean, it actually has information, so I don't know why it is not generating like anything. Insert one. Get a collection of this database by name. So this actually has a name, so I don't know why it is failing, which is weird. Let's see what the method says. So collection, document type, get a collection of this database by name, get collection, get a class, let's go back, insert one Let's try with another method, perhaps. Collection dot, let's see what options we have. Create collection, drop collection, list collection. Maybe it's not letting me add the collection thing. Let's see. Read. What do we have with insert? Yeah, so I'm seeing that insert literally doesn't exist. So maybe let's try it with the dv dot insert one. No, that's not working either. So collection dot aggregate. No. Get collection. First, let's see if it's actually working, and run list collections. And let me print this st.write, and then I will output this. Let's see, submit. By Mongo cursor. That doesn't make sense. Collection, list collections. Okay, let's see. Insert one in MongoDB. I thought it was like that. DB collection. Oh, so it's first the database, then the collection, and then the insert one. So let's try that and see if that is the error. And let's try db dot collection dot insert one. Oh, there we go. Now I'm getting it. And then we're going to insert the document. Perfect. So let's try this again. Submit again to see what is wrong. There we go. Your information was submitted correctly. So let's go back to our cluster and see if now we actually have my response on the MongoDB cluster. Let's wait for it to load. And after doing this, then we're going to list like all of the elements that we have in our MongoDB collection. And we're going to, compare the embeddings that we have and find its relation so I can get like the most, person that it's related to my tastes in technology. It's taking a while. Let's see if it gets better. There we go. My internet is a bit slow right now. There we go. Why is not appearing? Let me see if I got an error message. Nope, no error message. Let's see if the collection is the same. Text is responses. Okay, perhaps I am using the wrong cluster URI. So let's see, ny8fabc. Let's go to clusters and see why is it not appearing. Connect. And let's see what the credentials are to see if it is the same. I think it is the same, so I don't know why is it wrong or it is not appearing. Is it the same? Oh, it is different. Yep. So I was actually inserting this information into one of my many Mongo instances that I have. So let's update this to see if it was created. I'll submit it again, but now in a different MongoDB cluster, but out. Oh, okay. So when we get this error, that means that either my password, username, or Mongo URL is wrong. So right now I'm guessing that it is a password, and as change it again, I'll just leave the DB cluster that I have, and I'll just log in into that other account. So let me search for MongoDB again, and I'll log in from my other account. Go ahead. Responses. Yeah, that can also be it, but in case the collection doesn't exist, it should be creating a new one. So let me just check if the responses are not being created in my other account. And if that is not correct, then I should get back and rename my collection. But thank you for the notice. Let's see. Okay, so now I'm in my other account, and let's see if the cluster was actually created inside this one. So browse collections. Let's see. Yep, here it is. So I was creating it over here. Here is techies responses. Then we get collection. And then we actually get the response that I was creating. So let's see. And yep, here we go. B. It is basically the information that I was inserting on my Streamlit. Nice. And we also have our pretty long embeddings array, which has all of the numbers that were being displayed earlier. They are over here. Perfect. So now that we are pretty sure that the information is being correctly inserted over here, now we can go ahead and actually like go through our embeddings array, and we can perform a pretty specific mathematical function in order to find like the two closest persons that are like really similar to my profile. But before I do that, I'm actually going to deploy the application first. So I will drop the link on the chat, and you can go ahead and write like like random information on my Streamlit, so we can fill out the database with different profiles from different persons. So let's go ahead and jump into that step. So what we're doing that right now is that we are going to deploy this application. Let me just see if there is no sensitive information. Nice. So ready to deploy. Perfect. So to deploy our application, we need to create a GitHub repo. I already created the GitHub repo for this application, so we should be good to go. Nice. So now let's head over into a new browser tab, and we're going to search for Streamlit Cloud. So Streamlit Cloud, and this is basically the deployment environment for Streamlit, which basically lets you deploy any app from any GitHub repo that you have created before. And the nice thing about this is that you get to see like example from everyone, and you can actually use like some pre-made templates from Streamlit, which is pretty nice. Like there are several applications over there that you can just use and adapt it to your own needs. So let's go ahead and create a new account or sign in case you already have a Streamlit account, and you will go ahead and click on create app over here. First, I will share this link with you on the chat, and I'll give you some 5 minutes for you to create a Streamlit account, and we will be back in a second. Nice. So I hope you got the chance to create your Streamlit account so we can all deploy our applications. So now you should be seeing a dashboard pretty much like this. Perhaps it might be empty, perhaps not. So you're going to go ahead and click on Create App. And we want to deploy our application from GitHub because we already have a GitHub repo where we can deploy our application from. And I almost always use GitHub, but you can also choose like a public template from the community, or you can also use Snowflake, which is another helpful tool that we have on Streamlit. So let's click on deploy app, and we want to copy the link for our repo over here. So let me go and check this out. I'm going to copy this, and we want to deploy this. So yep, it is this one. The main branch, you want to select the branch where you want to deploy your application from, and then you want to select like the main file path that we are going to be using. So in our case and my case, it is home.py, as it is the main file that we have over here where we are basically deploying our application over there. So we're going to go ahead and select home.py. And then in here, we're going to write a customized domain name for our application. And please note that this name is the one that will be like the public URL. So whatever you write in here will be the URL that the person that you share your app with will be basically seeing. So I will write match MongoDB/MLH. Wait, this should be can contain term MongoDB. All right, so I'll just write Mongo match Mongo MLH dot Streamlit app. And after we click on deploy, we also want to add the secrets file that we created earlier, because if we remember, we are using PyMongo, and PyMongo has different credentials that we don't want to be uploading into the internet. So we have user, we have password, and we have the URL for our URI. So from your Streamlit folder, you're going to copy paste all of these credentials that we have over here, and we're basically going to add them. If we click on advanced settings, we're going to add them over here. So on our secrets file, we are basically copy pasting what we have on our application. So we just paste it like this, and we click on save. And once this is done, we're going to click on deploy app. So right now our application is being deployed on Streamlit. It will take a while, and actually I forgot to create a requirements file, so I will be getting some errors on not having PyMongo installed and some other dependencies. So yeah, I have some errors about model not found error, and this is probably because I forgot to include a requirements file. So let's go ahead and create that. If we go back over here, let's create a new file that will be called requirements.txt. And in here, we're going to include all of the dependencies that we have used in the course of this stream. So if we go over here and remember them, we have PyMongo, we have transformers, and I think NumPy is not necessary. So we're going to write PyMongo first, and then we're going to write transformers. Nice. So this should be good. I think that's all we need. And I will commit this, added requirements file. So something nice about Streamlit is that every time that I update my repo, my application will be automatically updated. So there is no need to redeploy the application or run anything extra. So if we go back, we can actually see that my application is being updated because I basically made a commit on my GitHub repo. So now I'm getting another error about PyTorch, but we won't be using PyTorch today. So we can actually go ahead and um, delete this dependency. So let's delete this. And I will again update it requirements. Perfect. So let's go back to see how our application is being updated. Now we can see pulling code changes from GitHub and it is updated. There is another error. Bird model requires the PyTorch library, but it is not okay. I think then we actually need it. So let's return again, leave the torch import, and now we will add that into our requirements file. So let's add in here torch. I'll generate it with AI. I'm already tired of typing many unnecessary commit messages. Perfect. Where are my VS Code pets? Here they are. I love this extension. It keeps me entertained when something is not working, like right now. Let's see. It is being redeployed again. I will hit on reboot app because I'm not sure if it was updated or not. So just to be sure that something is wrong or something is right, I clicked on redeploy application. Let's see. And if that doesn't work, then I'll go search online what is the PyTorch version that should be installed in order for us to include it in the requirements file. But it is taking a while, so I think we should be good, perhaps because Torch takes a while to load into our application. So I think we should be good. I'll leave it running, and in the meantime, we are going to go back to our GitHub repo. Oh, wait, it is updating now. Let's see if everything is correctly. So we can continue. So our next steps here will be for me to share this public domain link with you, and you will be able to access it and actually type information in the formulary, so we can actually, have different profiles as in our database where we can compare ourselves from, and create the technology matches that we are so long waiting for. And after we do that, we also have to go ahead and create one final method for creating the relationship between everyone. And if we have time, we are going to create a graph where we are basically going to display how everyone is related. That is actually pretty quick, so I think we will have time to make that graph visualization. So this is taking a while, so why not? Let's go ahead and start writing the function that we are missing. So once we go back, right now we are basically inserting the document into our MongoDB, and we are already able to publish information. But right now we are not generating any actual comparison between the people that are in our database and the people who actually fill out the form. So to make that relation and to find like someone with the similar profile that I have and that I'm searching for, we have to implement a concept named cosine similarity. And for some of you who are already familiarized with machine learning, cosine similarity is just a mathematical formula which allows us to find, the relation between two vectors. And if we remember from last session, we saw that on our database, we basically created an index, and that index is a vector index where we can basically search, where we can find, the relationship between our different objects. So I actually prepared for you a slide that explains this a little bit better. Let me go back to it. I'll make this bigger. So yeah, now our final concept for this AI section part is this concept named cosine similarity. As I already mentioned, it is basically just determining the similarity between two vectors. In this case, let's imagine the vectors is like person number one and person number two. So let's imagine the orange apple is person number one, and the wait, I said orange apple. That is weird. Okay, so the orange is person number one, and the apple will be person number two. So I have vector A and I have vector B. And if I implement this cosine similarity formula, I will be basically obtaining like a result. And that result will vary from in ranges from -1 to 1. So this result will be basically, how alike is the person one from the person two, a difference. So to represent that formula in Python, it is basically this. So you create the cosine similarity, taking the dot product, because we have a dot product over here, A and B, and we basically divide it using the magnitude of both of our vectors. And our vectors in here are person one and person two. So we are basically going to create this cosine similarity with all of the elements that we have in our MongoDB database. So let's go back and see if our application loaded. Um, Almost there. You can do it, Streamlit. It will eventually stop loading. So in the meantime, let's go ahead and code the cosine similarity function that we need. So there is no need right now to actually create a function, but let's start doing that so we are done with the backend section of our AI app. So to do that, we basically have to fetch all of the elements that we have in our database in Mongo. So to do that, we're basically going to create a variable that will be called all documents, because we want to bring like all of the persons that we have in our database. And we want to bring them in the format of a list. And we basically want to find between these collections. So collection dot find, and this will be, this is a function. Let me just check if this is actually something that exists. Hold on. List dot find. This is pretty weird. So I'll just type the literal name of this, which will be called responses, and see if that works. No, this is so weird. Okay, I'll stick to the collection and then debug it later. Dot find. Great. So we're basically going to bring all of the elements that we have in our collection. And after that, if elements actually exist, because first we want to verify if our database actually has information, and in case it doesn't, then we will return an error message. So we're going to fetch the current person. And if we remember, the current person will be basically a numerical representation. And that numerical representation will be in the form of an embedding. So we want to fetch our current embedding, which is, for example, which is the person who filled out the form. Person who filled out the form is the current embedding. So this will be our vector one. Or if we see the presentation, it will be the apple. And once we fetch the current embedding, we want to do embedding. And then we want to convert this embedding into being just a 1D thing. Yeah, so we can actually represent it into a vector that is just of one dimension and not the many that it has. So once we fetch the current embedding, which will be basically like the person who fills out the form, then we want to create a vector or an array that will be basically all of our similarities. So in this array, we will be basically, storing like the persons that have like similar tastes as the person who filled out the form. So yeah, it is just to store, persons with similar interests. Store the store similar interests of person of people. I'm sorry, of people from our database. And then after that, we actually want to iterate over all of the elements that we have in our collection. So to do that, we're going to create a for loop. And if we remember, we have in our MongoDB cluster, we basically have like documents, and we also have individual objects. So each individual object, we're going to call it doc, and then we want to iterate from the old documents Nice. So we are back. Perfect. So now we've got now that we are basically iterating over all of the elements that we have in our document, then we want to store the actual embedding that we have, which is basically creating a variable and then in here we are basically going to perform a search inside our embeddings array. So if we go back and see our cluster, we have two things. So we have the responses and then we have the embeddings. So we basically want to iterate over our embeddings element. So if we go back, we want to store the current embedding and we want to convert it into a numpy array. So np.array, and then we basically want to take the element that it's called embedding. Is it called embedding or embeddings? Oh, it's called embeddings. So it will be basically embeddings. And then we also want to convert this into a 1D thing. So we'll basically flatten. Nice. So currently we are basically storing all of our embeddings into a 1D thing, which is basically just fetching all of the things and numbers that are inside this array over here. So all of these numbers are being stored over there. And once we have that, we can actually go ahead and perform the cosine similarity function. So let's just go ahead and create a variable called similarity. And let me go back to our formula because I don't actually know it by memory. Let's see over here. So we have a similarity. It's equal to np dot, which is a dot product, and then our array. So let's go ahead and copy paste this. So we will have np dot, and instead of having a, we will have current embedding, which is the one that we had earlier. And then we're going to compare it with the stored embedding, which is basically everything else. So stored embedding. Nice. And after that, it is a division. And then we basically want to get the magnitude for each of the vectors. So to do that, it is np.lineal. And then we basically want to pass on the current embedding. Let me go back. It's a multiplication. So we basically want to do this. And then we want to multiply it with the other one. So let's go ahead. np.lineal and then stored embedding. Nice. And I think I'm missing the norm. Yep, I'm missing the norm. Lineal dot norm and lineal dot norm. So yeah, this is nothing new. Just basically, using a mathematical formula that I already explained on the slides, which is basically to obtain, the relationship between our two vectors that we have, and I'm just following on into that logic. It's actually a machine learning mathematical function that is created. Is not something that I invented just because it exists. It is actually something that has a lot of information from behind. So we're just following on there. So once we have created the cosine similarity, what we want to do is that we want to add this into our similarities array that we created earlier. So once we find a potential match, then we want to store it onto our similarities. So similarities append, sorry, we want to append the current similarity and then the similarity that we have. Perfect. So we are done, at least for the part of calculating the cosine similarity. And after doing that, then we want to sort our similarities array. Why? Because we basically want to obtain, in order, like first our match, and then like the most potential one, and then just the third place. So to do that, let's just create again the similarities array, and then we will use the sorted function, and we will be basically passing on the similarities array that we had before, and we're going to create just a quick lambda function so we can get this over with. So I actually learned this like in the hard coded way for my like coding. You know, how do I say it in English? Like the technical interviews that they give you, like for the internships. So it's just something that I learned like the wrong way. So after sorting them by ascending order, what we want to do is that we basically want to print them into like our top 3 places. So print for our top 3 matches. Nice. So right now I'm just going to print the similarities to see in which format they are written. And after we see that, then we can actually go ahead and do it with a little bit better of formatting so it looks better in our Streamlit app. So let's go back to our local instance. And let's see if this actually, it is still deploying. Examining the path, try to initiate path. I think we're going to have issues with PyTorch when I actually try to deploy. Um, let's try to see if there is something online about this error. To explaining the path, let's see. I think I know what this is. Yeah, so PyTorch, I think it is only for 3.9 version of Python. And for my Streamlit, I think I selected 3.12. So let me just check the PyTorch version PAP. Let's see if that is the case. Start locally. Let's see. Here we go, PIP. So it says to ensure PyTorch. No, we don't need that. I'm not seeing what I want to see. So let's search for install torch with PIP. I already visited that. So let's see over here to see what version. PIP install torch. Yeah, we already did that. Let's see if there is something related to the Python version that we need to have. You know what? Let me check what Python version I have over here. 3.11. It should be working then. Point 11, yeah. Let's search which Python version does torch support. How to find PyTorch supports Python 3.11, Python 3.10, Python 3.11 isn't fully supported yet. So maybe that's why we're not able to run it on the Streamlit. Let's just make sure if there is something over here. Okay, let's try changing the environment for our Python deployment over here. I actually don't know how to do that. Let's see if there is something in here. It was actually there when I was trying to deploy it. So let's go ahead and delete app. Delete, and we will redeploy it again, but this time with a 3.10 Python version. Let's go ahead and copy paste this. So I'm assuming the error is related to the version that PyTorch supports, at least because in the error log, there were plenty of error messages related to Torch. So that might be it. AI match app mongo.mlh. Advanced settings, and let's select 3.10. And now let's add our secrets from here. Whoop. Nice. Save and deploy. Let's go again and see if that is the mistake in here. Let's see the error console. Using UBPIP install, using Python. Everything's looking correctly. Let me go ahead and push the most recent changes that I have. So in case you want to see them, and actually see the function that I created earlier, that it's to calculate the cosine similarity. So I think it has updated. Process dependencies. Oh, I think we're in a good path. No errors yet. We can actually see the 2 pages that we created. So let's just wait a little bit more. Nice, there we go. So it actually loaded, but I'm getting the PyTorch error again. Let's see if we can actually submit information to see if everything is correctly. So I'll type in Lynn. I don't know how to code. And I will just type none in everything. Well, in here I would write medium as my favorite blog post. I will type no. I don't have any favorite code editor. I once used Visual Studio Code. So let's try to submit this and see what errors are we getting. So I can't submit it. Oh, there we go. Your information was submitted correctly. Let's go back to Mongo and see if Lynn is added to our database. Let's refresh our screen. And in case that we see it, then I will be sharing it with you in a sec. Oh, I think, yeah, so we got Lynn over here, which basically means that we successfully deployed our application and we are able to upload information. So let me share this app with you on the chat, and I will be really happy if you upload something into the formula so we can actually, find potential matches. You don't have to write your real name, just, something to have fun with. I really hope you get to do that. In case you don't want to, then I will be creating another two random techies so we can get started. So I will push the changes that I had over here, which were basically related to created the cosine similarity variable. Find relations between persons. No, people. That is totally wrong. Persons is not a word. I'm so sorry. Sometimes, like, I start thinking on how to say things in Spanish, and I actually get more confused when I try to think in Spanish, because I try to literally translate what I'm thinking. And yeah, that is not very optimal. So I already pushed the latest changes to GitHub, and they should be updated into the application right now. Let's try to submit a new person, and I will call her or him Sam. And Sam will actually have favorite programming languages. Let's add Dart, C#. Let's also add Python, and let's add JavaScript. Nice. Favorite framework, I will place perhaps Vue.js. Favorite tech conference, I will place hackathon. And then contribute to open source, I will place Linux, because Sam is super pro and he or she has contributed to the Linux repo. And then in tech celebrity, we're going to write anyone. And favorite code editor, let's place Visual Studio. Great, so let's submit this and see what we get. Oh, there's an error. The original message, let's see. Collection object is not callable if you meant to call. Oh, it's the same error. So let's go back and fix that. Let's go back. So I'm guessing it is the same error that we had earlier regarding to this. So let's go ahead. Yeah, I'm also getting the same error. Oh, let's see. This app has encountered an error. Oh, yeah. So you should be getting the same error that I'm getting, but you should be able to see like the actual log message if you click on the manage app button, which is over here. Let me just click this. The manage button that is over here. And in here, you should be getting like the actual error message. For protection, Streamlit doesn't display like the actual log message on screen. So if you want to see the actual error you're getting, you have to log in and click on manage app. And if you are doing it from my repo, then you should be getting the same error related to the collection object is not callable and so on. So let's go ahead and fix that. and try to replicate that over here. So using db dot collection and then dot find. Let's see if that actually exists. Yep, that exists. So that should be good. So potentially fixed error for finding collection. So I will push this into the repo to see if the error is fixed. Let me try on the local instance. I think it is better to first try on the local instance, and then once the error is fixed, then actually, going back into the published link. So let's submit this now and see if the error is fixed. Oh, we are getting another different error that says name stored embedding is not defined. Let's see. Oh, so it is a spelling mistake. So if we go back, we can even see that this is highlighted that it doesn't exist because I called it store. So let's just fix that. Call it store. Fix spelling mistake. Nice. Perfect. So we should be good. I'll just give a few seconds for it to be updated. Let's see. Great, so it has updated. Let me submit this again and hopefully it will not give me any error. I think it is loading. At least it is frozen. Like the color of the button is red, so I think the app is just frozen. What is happening? Oh, there it is. So now what do we have here? Doc embeddings. I don't see the error. Module R has no attribute format. What? Oh, model numpy has no attribute line alg. Wait, did I use it incorrectly? Let's go ahead and see if that was the actual mistake. Yeah, so this apparently doesn't exist. Let me search for the real name. Nyalg in numpy. Let's see. It is lin alg, not linealg. So let's go back and change that. So it is lin alg. There we go. Now it changed color. Lin alg. Perfect. So remember, this is the cosine similarity formula. Perfect. So corrected lin alg mistake. Nice. So hopefully that is the last error that we get to see if our application has been deployed. Perfect. So let's go back to our app and refresh this, submit. Let's see. I got type error, list append, takes exactly one argument to given. Let's see if I get the same error. Yep, I'm getting the same error. Probably because of our, the sorted thing that we were doing. So let's go back and see if we can fix that. Yep, because I got the same. Check. I get type error, list append takes exactly one argument to given. So let's go back and see our append function. So actually in our append, where is it? I'm not seeing it. There we go. Append, yeah. So it only has to pass one. So let's just basically, let's add another brackets to see if now we get to fix it. Yeah, because we can pass one and then we can pass another one. That should be good. Add the two parentheses and see if that works. I will upload this and check my deployment to see if that was it. Fixed, well, no, potentially. Nice. Perfect. Let's sync these changes. And in the meantime, I will add some background music because this is getting, well, at least I'm feeling it's getting kind of serious. Let me just I'll lower the volume. There we go. Great. So let's see. Updated app, and I'll finally submit this. Yay! So it has worked. Perfect. So let's go see our potential matches. The format is not the best. Yeah, we still have to clean this information because this is totally not this is not something the user wants to see, but now we are basically getting all of our responses. Oh, and I'm seeing that a lot of people were added. Let me go back to the cluster and see what we have over here. Collection. Nice. So a lot of people were adding info. I like that. Perfect. I hope it is not trash info, so we can actually get really cool responses from our application. So let's go back and fix this format that looks really messy. Like right now we are basically displaying like everything that we have in our app, and we don't want to do that because it just looks like, like random JSON files we have over there. So let's go back to our code. And after, let's delete this because this is basically just printing all of the information that I have in similarities. So now let's add a nice subheader. And we will call this your top 3 matches. Nice. I will add a divider. And then we will be basically just iterating over each match, and we will be basically getting just the top 3. So we just want to show 3 potential matches. So for each match, we basically want to search for the similarity in similarity. And in here, we just want to bring 3. So to do that, we use the double dots and we place a number of elements that we want to bring. In our case, we just want to bring 3. So let's just stick to the top 3. And then we finally are going to write our responses, and we're going to write our similarity. Perfect. And let's try this. And yeah, we will leave it like this for now and see how our Streamlit behaves. So I will click on format the response in similarities. Sometimes I make plenty of spelling mistakes. I'm sorry for that. But yeah. It's almost 12 a.m. where I am located. Still, it is early. I consider myself, I'm not really an early bird person, so I prefer working at night most of the times. That's mostly the reason why I love going to hackathons, especially MLH ones. So let's go ahead and create a new person, which will be called, I don't know why I like the word koala, so it will be called koala. Then programming languages. So koala will think that HTML is a programming language when it is actually not a programming language. Then my favorite framework, he will actually know that Flutter is a framework, but Koala doesn't know that HTML is not a programming language. Favorite conference, it will be GitHub Universe and Geeks for Geeks. It actually doesn't matter how you type your responses. You can be like totally casual on here. So open source, to probably TensorFlow. And then what is your favorite tech celebrity? So he loves to watch Tech Roast Show. I actually love this YouTube show. I always like to see their videos when I'm eating something. Then favorite code editor, he will code in Unity. But that doesn't make sense because then Koala has to know what C# is. Perfect. So now let's go ahead. This. And let's see what Koala gets. Top 3 matches. Yeah, this is really not very helpful. Not very helpful at all. Like, I don't care what my score is. I just want to know the name and the information. Yeah, so let's go ahead and fix that. Let's go back over here. Yeah, so I'm getting the match, I'm getting the similarity, and then I want to get the similarity response. Oh, I know what. I forgot to actually print the match for each similarity. So let's go ahead and print that. So it will be streamlit.write, and then we want to print each match for each responses. Perfect. Yeah. So now we actually going to have the score, and then we're going to have, the actual, information of the person. We were not doing that before, so yeah. Nice. No, I actually don't know what that is. Advent of code. If you mind sharing what that is? Really don't know. Or yeah, let's see. Advent of code sounds very Christmassy. Let's try submitting this again. Yeah, so now I'm actually getting responses. This is basically my information. Wait, there is something not quite right in here. Top 3 matches. These are definitely more than top 3 matches. This doesn't make sense. I think this is just like... Oh, wait. Trying to find what the error here is. So let's go see what's the common ground between all of these elements. Probably the sorting function, I would assume. Let's see. So my first one is just printing B, and then B again, and then lin. And then this 3, and then another 3, and then another 3. Is it view? Probably is matching them. as the relationship, and I get Sam plenty of times. I'm not sure why. Just like full of Sam. That is so weird. Okay, let's go and see if there is like something repeated over here. So we have similarities. We have similarities that append. Similarities. So now we have our response. It is an advent calendar of programming puzzles, one each day. Ooh, like programming puzzles, like lead code style, or just like random puzzles that you get. Because if they are lead code styles, then I'm not sure if I'm into that. I'm not a huge fan of lead code. Still, it is something basic to get an internship. So yeah. I think there may be duplicates in the database. Yeah, I thought that too, but they are. I mean, Sam repeats itself like a lot of times. So let's go and check that actually. So we have B over here, and then we have Lynn, Mira. Let's go search if some of these are from Sam. Oh, first Sam. Yeah, I think the responses are being duplicated when we are inserting them. Yeah, because they are identically the same. And maybe that's why it is printing like the same, as it is basically saying like, hey, like Sam actually got the same embedding score. Yeah, there's definitely a duplicate error of how we are posting into our database. So I think I will go back to the comment that said this. So perhaps this will help us to be more specific on where we are inserting our info. So let's go ahead and try that, because there is definitely a mistake over there. And I'm kind of sad because now our database is contaminated and we will have to delete some information. So it is weird because I actually stated that over here. So I don't know why it is not listening to this variable. So let me just grab this automatically. Let's see. We have techie responses, and then we have collection. Yeah, because it basically created a collection called collection, which is kind of ironic. Let me go and check where the collection thing is. Yeah, it might be over here. So let's try to clean this and actually type. So we want to have client, text responses, and then we're going to type, we're going to create a new collection that will be called responses. Wait, it'll be called responses again. And now let's see if we can basically insert again. We will be inserting the document. I mean, it is the same, just in the longer version. So I'll leave this comment in case it is correct. And then I'll basically do the same for our second section over here. So I'll go ahead and, paste it over here. I think that's all for our MongoDB search. Yep. So let's go ahead and update this. Well, I will run this locally, so I don't have to be creating like plenty of commits on our GitHub repo. Yeah, we already looked into that, and it is actually correct. There are many duplicates on our database, and that is not intentional. So we definitely have to take a look into what is going on when we are inserting our information. Wait, no, it opened up. I want to share it with you over here. Cannot import what? This definitely doesn't make sense. Like, why is it now talking about birth tokenizer? Oh, what? Cannot import name birth tokenizer from transformers. But that was already working. Let's see if I added like if there is like a spelling mistake somewhere. Trying to be super picky with what I'm seeing. I don't see anything. Import bird tokenizer from transformers. Cannot import name bird tokenizer from transformers. That is weird. Streamer drawn home.py. Okay. Oh, wait. Let's see if I commit this and actually see it on the console, then it updates. So changed the way we access MongoDB collections. So I usually like to add like 20 or 10 extra minutes to each like difficult task on streams, especially when we are on live, because things like this tend to happen. Like sometimes just unexpected things happen, and you just have to go ahead and fix them while you are trying to explain like how to build something. It is totally normal. Yep. So processed app, I will add another one, why not? So we're not getting the other error over here. Then I don't know why my local host started. So now I only get one. Oh, I only got one because I created a new collection called responses actual or something like that. So let's go back and refresh and see our new collection. But now I'm not getting duplicates, so we should be good. So you can go ahead and add information into our new collection, because apparently the other responses were completely lost. So we will have to do this again. So now in here we will be seeing koala. Great. So I will add another person, and I will share this link again so everyone can add information and we can finish a bit faster, so we can move on to our final task. So I will actually fill it up for myself. So right now I code mainly on Python, but I also love to use C++ and Java. Favorite framework, I will probably say Bootstrap. Why not? Favorite tech conference or blog post, I love Medium and Geeks for Geeks. Yeah, so I actually contributed to the research because I'm a previous MLH fellow. It was actually my first time that I contributed to open source. Something really mind-blowing. Favorite tech celebrity? It is actually Tech Roast show. I love that show, so I'll just leave it like that. Favorite code editor? Well, we already saw that I have been using VS Code. So let me submit this so we have more info. Yeah, so now it can only compare from another person, so it will be me, the match. and we have 88 percent of similarity. Let's see why. So I added Bootstrap. We have the gross show as similarity, and we also have gigs for geeks as similarity too. So probably that's why. Okay, I'll add any person that will basically have like I will add in here. I'm trying to remember Golang. And then favorite framework, I will add probably I'm trying to think of something. Why not Vue.js? Yep. Favorite tech conference or blog post, let's write hackathon. Have you contributed to open source? No. What is your favorite tech celebrity? I will type, I don't have one. Wait, why is it not letting me type? There we go. I don't have one. And then favorite code editor, code spaces. Nice. So let's submit. Oh, I left the same name. I should probably have changed that before actually submitting. So Koala basically has wait, it is still being repeated. I mean, it kind of makes sense because it is basically giving me the top 3 matches, but it is just printing them like over and over again. So let's see if we can stop that. So let's go ahead and best viewer. Yeah, we're not getting into that. That is totally weird. I'm trying to see if this is wrong. I will ask Copilot if this is correct because I'm not very sure about this. So let's go ahead and activate Copilot. Why do I have this error in my code? And I will paste this over here. Perfect. The error, oh my god, there's so many things here. The error in your code is likely due to the fact that the elements in the similarities list are not subscriptable. I don't think that is correct. Ensure similarities is a list of tuples or lists. I mean, it should be it. Yeah, there's nothing. I don't think this makes sense. No, definitely not. Well, no worries. It is basically printing like our matches, just that it is somehow looped in our for loop. Let's see. So Koala, then Amira, and then me. Let's see if there is some similarities over here. So what similarities do we have? Yeah, now I can see that Amira has more similarities with Koala than with me, because with me, he or she has 55%. Yeah, perhaps because of the VS Code thing. I'm assuming that at least. And then over here, we have VS Code plenty of times. Perfect. Nice. Okay, so let's go ahead and now create our visualization graph that we actually want to, display below of the other elements that we will be, using. So let's go ahead and right outside of the loop, and we will be adding a subheader that says embedding graph display. Nice. And I will basically go pretty quickly in here as we have like 10 more minutes to wrap this up, and then I want to actually update the GitHub so you can see like all of the things that were added during the stream. So for this, we are basically going to create our embedding list. And we want to display this. So to display our embeddings, we actually have to flatten them again in order to, actually convert them into a NumPy array, which will allow us to graph them somehow in a two-dimensional space. So to do that, we will use np NumPy array again, and then we will be basically using the docs and taking on the embeddings. Yep, I think it is embeddings, or was it embedding? Not sure. If we get an error, we will check it later. Then we will convert this again, and we will basically iterate over this for every doc in all documents. There we go. So now we have our embedding list, and then in here we're going to use a concept that is called, I think I have searched this before. What is PCA in embeddings? Let's see for a nice definition. So this is just basically so we can represent our embeddings in a readable format for a graph. Here we go. Principal component analysis. Let's see if we have an image that represents this. Here we go. So this basically makes our embedding like a compressed unit that we can use in order to, actually plot it into our plotly or into our 2D graph that we will be creating with X and Y axis. So let's go back to the code, and we will be creating this PCA component. So this will be called PCA, and we actually have to import this over here. So let's go ahead and from sklearn, from sklearn dot decomposition import PCA. Nice. And then we will go back. So PCA, and we basically just want to take two components. Why? Because we want it to be like a 2D. So we have y-axis and we have x-axis. So we should put in two components, and then after that we want to transform our embeddings and fit them into our list. So to do that, we will create a reduce embeddings, and then we basically want to use the PCI element that we have had before, and we want to fit it into our new one. So fit transform, and then we will be passing on the embedding list that we have. Great. So now that we have this, we want to plot in our graph the names of the persons, so we know the relation in between of them. So we will retrieve the names from our MongoDB database. So using the doc element, and then going inside our responses attribute, and then responses attribute, we have the name attribute, because if we go back, we basically have responses, and then we have name. So we want to fetch this name. So to fetch that name, it is basically doc responses name, and once we are there, we want to iterate over all of them. So in all documents. Perfect. So now we have fetched all of the names, and we want to store them into the data frame. And in this format, now we are ready to plot. So we will use pandas, and we will be using the data frame in order to make the plotting easier. And then we will plot the reduced embeddings, and we want to have two columns. So the columns will basically have the name of X and Y. So we have X and we have Y. Once we have that, then we can go ahead and create our scatter plot. But before that, we have to import pandas. So import pandas as PD. Let's go back. Nice. So now we have pandas already import, and we want to also show the name. So data frame, we want to access the name, and this will be basically equal to the names that we have fetched before over here. Nice. So after that, we want to create our figure. So fig equals to, oh, we also have to import px. So we're going to use another library to make sure we make our scatter plot, and that is basically import plotly.express as I think it is px. I'm not sure, but I will use px because it is a thing that I remember. So fig equal to px dot, and then we act in here. We basically want to create. We want to pass on our data frame. So we have data frame. And then what else do we have to pass? Let's see. Oh wait. I think it is like this. Yep. So we have our px, and then we want this to be a scatter function to pass on the data frame. And I think that should be all. We can also add a title in case you want to, and we will call this embedding a plot. Perfect. And now to visualize our figure on the Streamlit, we simply do a Streamlit.plotly chart, and then we pass on the fig element that we created before. Nice. So I will go ahead and push this into the repo so everyone can see how to plot their embeddings. So plot embeddings into dashboard. Let's see. It will take a while. Sync changes. And then after that, we will be ready to sync our graph. And let's see, we find out why the responses are being, duplicated into our dashboard. This is our dash. No, I closed the dashboard. I'm sorry. Let's bring it up again. Oh yeah, we have to update our requirements file. But first, let's see. Here we go. Requirements. So we got Plotly. What else did we add? So we have Plotly, then we have sklearn. I think sklearn actually needs like a version to be defined. Let's check that later. And let's see. Okay, so I think it's being updated. Oh, no model name Plotly. Did I type it in incorrectly? Perhaps it's not called like that. Go ahead. Plotly Express. So let's see. Plotly model in Python. Hello. Plotly. I mean, it's correct. Then why does it say that it doesn't exist? Oh no, this is a local one. Let's see. No model name Plotly. plot plot ly plot ly. I think the error is not that. I think the error is related to xsklearn. For PIP commands, no, that is just a note. Let's try to run it locally and see what errors are we getting. Let's see. Streamlit run home.py. Damn, this is taking a while. Let's see. So this is taking a while to load. Why is it generating the same error for bird model? It totally doesn't make sense because in my hosted version it actually works, but then when I try to run it locally I get errors with the bird tokenizer. And we were literally using that earlier. That's what makes me like more confused. So let's try to add just like I'll just fill it with trash info as we are trying to go really quickly into this. We just want to see our nice plotly graph. Okay, let's see. Nice, so Plotly Express cannot process wide form data with columns of different types. That is weird, because we actually created this differently. So that shouldn't be the case, at least for this. So let's try to add additional parameters into our graph and see if that is the issue. So over here, we're basically going to add all of the, like, manually specify what our x will be and then what our y will be. So x will be basically x, and then we will have y, which will be equal to y. And let's see if that is the issue. I mean, I don't think this will be the issue, but I want the text to be equal to the name of the person. There we go. Wait, the name has to be inside double quotes. Let's see. Nice. Let's see, we have time to finish this, at least so we can view the graph. Oh, embedding. Oh, nice. So yeah, that was it. So now we can basically see the similarities between like the persons, the people that actually answered the formulary. I have repeated myself many times because I think I filled out the form with two names that were the same but had like different responses. Then we have the name A, which is basically, you know, the trash response that I just uploaded. And if we see over here, the A is basically like in the whole other extreme of our graph. And then we have Koala and Jocelyn 1 with almost the same similarity. Then Amira is over here, pretty closely to it. And then we have my Jocelyn number 2 a bit far away. Nice. So I think we are ready to wrap up. We are still are getting like duplicate responses, but they are not wrong. They definitely make sense because we are seeing it on the graph. That's why it was very important for me that we could finish and wrap up with this graph so we can actually, you know, visualize like all of the responses. And let me upload this to GitHub so I don't forget later on. So I will add it, embedding graph to view people similarity. Nice. So now our page will be updated and you will be able to actually see what is going on. So after this sessions ends, I will try to see what is causing like to print this like many times. I mean, the information is correct. It's just that it is being basically like copy pasted throughout the whole dashboard. Perhaps there is some logic error when trying to display the information, but as for the content, it totally makes sense. I mean, it is like completely true. So yeah, let's go add the link that I was using for our hosted version. I think I actually closed it. This is not it. Let's go back and search for our app. Let's see. There we go. Let's redeploy it again. New release. I will be rebooting the app, and while we do that, I will also add it to our GitHub repo into website. So in case you want to visit it later on, I will not be working on it right away as it is almost 12 a.m. for me, but I will definitely be looking into it perhaps tomorrow. Nice. So I will stop screen sharing now, and we will be ending this session really briefly. But before we do that, I just would like to do like a brief recap of what we saw today and what we successfully, like managed to create. So we basically created our AI application that performs the cosine similarity function into all of our elements that we have in our MongoDB database. And we did not actually get a lot into depth about some other like additional AI functions, because the main purpose of this technical stream was to actually like set up your first MongoDB database, and we started like just adding a little bit of difficulty as we were moving on along of the stream. So yeah, thank you so much for connecting today, and we will be having more technical streams later on, and also for the rest of the week. I will also be giving one more technical stream, which is called Quick Data Visualization for Hackathon Projects. And in that stream, I will be basically focusing myself on giving like really fast and easy implementations of how you can set up a project and visualize data in a really nice and pretty way for your hackathon projects, as sometimes it is really hard to actually try to display the information pretty, or you are not sure which information is like more valuable than other, and you're just kind of confused. So yeah, thank you very much, and good night or good morning or good afternoon to anyone who is watching, and it was a pleasure having you all today. Bye everyone.
Solo on the beat.